Hello, my name's Tom Grady. I work on the Copen project, and I'm going to talk to you very briefly about the Opening the Future model. So you can see on screen here that the model is essentially a membership or subscription program. It helps your library money go further by pooling money with other libraries. It enhances your local collection, and it simultaneously funds new open access books. And I'll explain how it does that now. So essentially, a participating publisher puts forward a selection of specially curated books at a special price. Libraries can select from those packages of books depending on which best suits their research or teaching focus. The publisher makes those books available to the subscribing library. Those books remain closed. It's just a standard package of books. And after 3 years of subscribing to it, the library gets to keep those books in perpetuity. So you could also think of this as a delayed purchase. Libraries can use acquisition funds to buy it. They don't have to have a special open access budget to do it. So it's very much a standard acquisition in many ways. But the clever bit is that the publisher pledges to only use that subscription money to open up new open access books in that series using the Opening the Future membership funds. The new books get published open access. They're available on OAPEN and various other platforms. No barriers, no paywalls. So we're kind of using the backlist as a sort of lever. A closed backlist is a lever to opening up future frontlist books. One point to make is that there are lots of wonderful collective membership models out there funding open access books these days. A key point of difference with ours is that it has a very low threshold before it can start to make a difference. Some of these models require around about 200 libraries on board before they can think about flipping the front list to open that year. With Opening the Future, we actually only need around about 10 libraries on board before the next book in the pipeline can be made available openly. So what happens is the publisher waits for the pot of money to gradually grow as more library members come on board. As soon as that pot hits the threshold required to just open up the next book in the pipeline, they do so. So it works very incrementally. It works one book at a time. And I suppose my point is that every library really does make a difference. With even just with 1 or 2 library members on board, we get much closer, much more quickly towards opening up the next book in the pipeline. And indeed, with more libraries on board, we can potentially open up more than one book at a time if there are enough subscribing members coming on board. It's been successful so far. Since running from around about the beginning of 2021, the model has raised around about 600,000 euros. So it's funded nearly 80 new open access books. Not all of them are out yet. Because of course the 3-year membership means that the money comes in drips and drabs sometimes, but that's good for the publisher because it means they can plan. They've got a reasonably reliable funding stream, and it means the books come out as and when they're ready. We've already got around about 100 libraries on board, and the library members are spread around the world. But with more libraries on board, of course, the presses can do more. To get libraries on board, it has been priced fairly. So there's a tier structure, a banding structure, if you like, whereby no library bears a disproportionate burden. The smallest institutions pay a little bit less than the larger ones. At the moment, we've got 2 publishers on board. We will have a 3rd one on board very soon, and we hope to have a 4th and maybe even a 5th on board by the end of 2025. But for now, we've got Liverpool University Press offering a package of books on Latin American studies and contemporary Lusophone and Hispanic cultures. And we also have Central European University Press offering several packages on Central European history, politics and culture, including a package specifically looking at the history of Russia and the Ukraine. In terms of value for money, it really is priced so that libraries can engage. The smallest libraries would pay around about €311 per year for access to 36 books. Of course, after paying 311 for 3 years in a row, you get to keep those 36 books. So for less than €1,000, you buy 36 books and your money goes towards funding new open access books. And even for the largest libraries, you're looking at around about €1,300 per year for access to around about 50 books. Again, multiply 1323 by 3 years, and you've got a purchase of 50 books for really not much money. And if you want to look at those figures from the other side in terms of funding the open access books, many publishers fund the production of a new open access book using a book processing charge or a BPC. Those charges can start at around about the €10,000 mark. So for €10,000, libraries can fund one book, or for less than €1,000, libraries can gain access to a selection of books while collectively helping to fund several new books. And as I say, using this model, we've already funded around about 80, so every library does make a difference. For those of you that are evaluating this kind of model using selection criteria, there are a few on screen now that hopefully demonstrate how Opening the Future ticks a lot of those off. In particular, I draw your attention to the fact that the model is designed to work with small, medium-sized, scholar-led, mission-driven and university presses. It's not designed for the large commercial entities. It means that if we can get enough libraries on board, these presses could potentially flip their entire front list, which would mean that any author going to them with a manuscript would be able to publish openly, which would mean they would be compliant with funder mandates, and it would mean the author wouldn't have to find 10,000 or more euros to publish their book. So in that sense, it mimics a read and publish deal if we can get enough libraries on board. And the other point to note, I suppose, is that this works with existing acquisition infrastructure. So it's very easy for libraries to just purchase these books and gain access. If you are interested in signing up, you'll find all the details you need on openingthefuture.net. But you're also very welcome to drop me an email on openingthefuture@copim.ac.uk if you want more information on specifics for your library. We're always happy to have one-to-one calls or to send more information through. You can also find us on LinkedIn, and you can find us on Blue Sky if you want to interact with us there. So that's me. That's the Opening the Future, the model. We hope you'll consider supporting it and supporting open access book publishing. Thank you very much for listening.